Jerry Jones has always been one of the most talked about figures in all of sports, a man who commands attention every time he steps in front of a microphone, and when he doesn't, that silence speaks louder than any of his famous post-game quotes. This time, the Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager shocked not only the fan base but the entire NFL community with an unexpected, bombastic move following another humiliating defeat. After a string of disappointing performances, capped off by a heartbreaking loss that seemed to expose every weakness in the Cowboys roster, Jerry Jones decided enough was enough. The NFL world woke up to breaking news: Jerry Jones finally fired. Screamed headlines and thumbnails across YouTube, Twitter, and sports talk shows, with fans everywhere asking, who did he fire? And what just happened in Dallas? For decades, Jones has been known as the ultimate hands-on owner, a man who makes all major decisions regarding his beloved franchise. Through the highs of Super Bowl glory in the 1990s to the frustrating mediocrity of the modern era, he has been both the architect and the face of the Cowboys brand. But now, following yet another gut-wrenching defeat, it appears the 83-year-old mogul has reached his breaking point, finally pulling the trigger on a decision that many believed he would never have the nerve to make. The loss that sparked the fire was more than just another tally in the L column. It was symbolic. The Cowboys, a team that once prided itself on dominance, toughness, and precision, looked disorganized, uninspired, and broken. The defense was porous, the offense lacked rhythm, and the sideline looked lost. Jerry Jones watched from his luxury suite, his expression a mix of disbelief and fury. Reporters who have covered the Cowboys for decades said they had never seen him so quiet. Usually, Jones is the first to grab a microphone, to defend his team, to promise better results, or to deflect criticism with a charming grin. But this time, he skipped the press conference entirely. His silence sent shockwaves through the NFL. Fans immediately speculated that something seismic was about to happen. And they were right. By the following morning, word began circulating that Jones had made a drastic decision overnight. Rumors flooded social media. Had he finally fired his head coach? Was the defensive coordinator gone? Had a star player been released or traded? Whatever the truth was, it was clear the status quo in Dallas had been shattered. Sources close to the organization suggested that Jones had grown tired of excuses. The Cowboys' culture, once built on accountability and pride, had become complacent. Losing had become tolerable, and for Jerry Jones, that was unacceptable. He reportedly called an emergency meeting with key front office personnel and coaching staff immediately after the defeat. That meeting lasted deep into the night. People inside the building described the atmosphere as tense and emotional, with Jones laying out his frustrations point by point. He allegedly told his staff that the Cowboys were no longer feared, that the franchise's once mighty star had dimmed. "This isn't the team I built," he said, according to one insider. "We've lost our edge, and I'm not going to watch this happen again." Within hours, the decision was made: a major shakeup was coming. Reports emerged that Jones had relieved one of his top coordinators of duties, though he initially stopped short of firing the head coach outright. The message, however, was clear: no one's job was safe anymore. For a franchise that has clung to stability even in the face of failure, this was monumental. The reaction from fans was immediate and explosive. Cowboys Nation, one of the largest and most passionate fan bases in the world, was divided. Some cheered the move, saying it was long overdue, that Jones needed to stop being loyal to mediocrity and start demanding results. Others were skeptical, fearing this was yet another emotional, knee-jerk decision that would cause more chaos than progress. Sports analysts flooded airwaves with takes. "Jerry finally snapped," one commentator said. "He's sending a message to everyone in that locker room: perform or be gone." Another pundit speculated that this could mark the beginning of a full-blown rebuild, something Jones has resisted for decades. For years, he's insisted that the Cowboys were only one or two pieces away from contending for a championship. But now, insiders say he's beginning to admit that the team is more than a few tweaks away. It might need an overhaul. That realization alone shows how serious this moment is. Jerry Jones has never been a man who admits defeat easily. Behind the scenes, players reportedly felt the tension. Some veterans expressed uncertainty about their future. Younger players whispered about who might be next. The Cowboys facility in Frisco, usually buzzing with energy, felt like a pressure cooker. Even assistant coaches were on edge, unsure if they'd still have jobs by the end of the week. One player described it as walking on eggshells, saying that everyone felt like they were being evaluated under a microscope. And they were. Jones, known for his meticulous attention to detail, was reportedly reviewing game film personally, analyzing not only performance but body language, effort, and leadership. This hands-on approach has always been part of his style, but this time, the stakes feel higher. He's not just looking to fix a football team, he's looking to reclaim the identity of America's team. Fans online are debating whether Jones's drastic action was aimed at accountability or optics. Some think he's finally taking control after years of being too patient with underperforming coaches. Others think he's making a spectacle to deflect blame from himself, as both owner and general manager. After all, Jones is not only the boss but also the man responsible for roster construction and coaching hires. If the Cowboys are failing, part of that falls squarely on his shoulders. Yet, no one can deny that he still burns to win. At 83, he's as fiery as ever, and this latest decision shows that he's not content to fade quietly into retirement. He wants another championship, one more Lombardi trophy before he's done, and he's willing to upset the entire organization to get there. The broader NFL community is watching closely because when Jerry Jones moves, it often sets off ripple effects across the league. Other teams, players, and agents take note. The Cowboys remain the most valuable and most visible franchise in football, and when they're in turmoil, the entire NFL feels it. Analysts are already speculating that his next step might involve blockbuster trades before the deadline, possibly shipping off big-name players in exchange for draft capital or rebuilding pieces. Others think he'll chase a high-profile coach to take over if things don't improve. Names like Bill Belichick, Sean Payton, and even college legends get thrown around every year in Cowboys rumors, but this time, the whispers feel a little louder. One thing is certain, Jerry Jones is setting the tone for a turbulent few weeks in Dallas. What happens next will determine whether this move becomes legendary or infamous. If the Cowboys rally, string together wins, and make a playoff push, Jones will look like a genius, a tough, decisive leader who refused to settle for less. But if the chaos deepens, critics will pounce, saying his meddling once again sabotaged the franchise. It's a familiar crossroads, one that Jones has faced before, but this time feels different. He's older, more reflective, yet still hungry. He knows time isn't on his side. Every season without a Super Bowl ring is another reminder that the glory days are slipping further into the past. This decision might be his last big gamble to recapture that magic. As the dust settles, one can't help but feel that this is more than just a sports story, it's a human one. It's about ambition, legacy, and the refusal to accept decline. Jerry Jones isn't just trying to fix a football team, he's fighting against time itself, against the idea that his era has passed. That's what makes this saga so captivating. Love him or hate him, you can't deny his passion. And when he finally fires someone, or makes a bombastic decision as the media calls it, it's because he's chasing something bigger than wins. It's redemption, pride, and the dream of going out on top. The Cowboys might be stumbling now, but if history tells us anything, Jerry Jones won't go quietly. He'll rebuild, reshuffle, and reignite the fire until the day he can look up at that shining star on the helmet and believe once again that his team is destined for greatness. Whether this latest move marks the start of that comeback or the beginning of another downward spiral remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, Nobody in the NFL will underestimate Jerry Jones again after this.